Okay, so let's take a look at how this works. In this case, I've got a simulated home. I've got an HVAC system with a motor down at the bottom of it. Out here on my line, I've got line power coming in. I've got a line capacitor. I have the meter outside the house and my breaker panel inside the house. Now, I've got a motor. When my air conditioner turns on, it draws 5 amps of power. So I'm spinning this fan and I'm drawing 5 amps. The system responds by supplying 5 amps of power from the line through my meter, distributed through the breaker, and that 5 amps gets delivered to the motor. Now the motor is a fairly efficient motor, and so while it draws 5, but it's actually consuming 3 amps, and 2 amps are being spun out or being generated from this process in the form of reactive power. That reactive power is being pushed back up through the line, out through the breaker panel, and it actually goes out and is stored on the line in the form of the line capacitors. The power company then can return that power that it stored or recycled from my house and actually return it back to me, back through the meter, meaning that I have to pay for that power a second time. Now let's look at a system where we have a KVAR installed. Again, the same basic setup. My air conditioner comes on, I've got a draw, 5 amp draw. So I'm fed 5 amps through my meter, through the breaker box where I've distributed the power. And again, the motor consumes actually 3 amps and generates 2 amps worth of reactive power. But now instead of sending that back out through the system, I send it back in through my KVAR device. My energy controller is then storing those 2 amps of reactive power and making those 2 amps available back to my home system. So with the 2 amps captured from the KVAR, I've actually augmented the apparent power that's being drawn from the line, and by augmenting the power coming from the line, I've reduced the actual amount of power that I require to drive this 5 amp motor. If I'm providing 2 amps of reactive power back into the system, I only need 3 amps from the line. So you can see how I've significantly then reduced the amount of power being drawn through the meter, which again is the amount of power that I'm paying for.